Next up, I decided to do 30 rounds of Hypixel's iconic game, Skywars. In Skywars, you need to be the last one standing on an island. You can get items from either a kit you've chosen or from chests scattered on the islands. And in round 26, I did likewise. But I took too long trying to loot the chests on the island, and that can be a pretty big setback because then all of the better items in the middle islands are getting looted by opponents, placing me at a huge disadvantage. But if I don't bridge to mid right at the beginning, then I'm stuck on my island because the moment I start to bridge, I'm definitely going to get knocked down instantly because eggs and snowballs have a lot of knockback, or at least in this game. They should really limit the supply to middle islands or something, I don't know. But there's not really anything for me to do but wait for someone to come to me, which is assuming that they don't just try to shoot me with the bow they acquire in the middle. But at the time I couldn't figure out exactly how to aim with eggs and snowballs or how far they would go since it's slightly different from rods and bows and my supply was squandered. But I did accidentally get an assist credit, so I wouldn't say I was a complete failure. Since I had no idea what I was doing, I knew I was screwed the moment someone bridged over to me. I might have been able to knock him off, but I didn't. The best thing I can have is a good kit, and to get more kits I need to go to the soul well in the lobby with at least 10 souls, which can be attained either from killing other players in a round or spending coins to buy some. I went for the latter and spent all my life savings to pay for the death god to bring me souls. Why did they make such a terrible sound? And so now in round 27 I felt slightly more poor, but more prepared. The kit I chose this time was the Scout, which gave me a level 2 speed potion. After the cage opened, I immediately began looting the island. After the second chest, I drank my potion and started normal bridging. I couldn't tell whether the potion really made a difference when crouching, but I made it to the outside island ring all the same and looted a chest. It had an enchanted iron chestplate, an enchanted diamond helmet, and a fishing rod with knockback 2. That marks the first time ever being able to make it to a good chest. But my excitement was short-lived because when I tried to fight another player with weaker armor, I somehow got pushed back without taking damage and then knocked off the cliff. It's not fair. Round 28, I looted my chest and found a bow and some arrows along with the usual items, but I wasted no time in bridging towards the middle. But when reaching the middle of the map, I tried to shoot another player, but I forgot to aim first. I was hit by a snowball and comboed to death, and for some reason I was glitched backwards again. I followed the player that killed me to make sure she wasn't cheating. Good. Round 29, I looted my island and I probably could have just bridged to the bigger islands, but I was too paranoid. So then I just harassed a player that had already made it to the middle. Then a different guy threw eggs at my face and made me fall in the hole. Then another guy came and started knocking the previous player into the island and killing him. And then another guy came and shot me back into the hole. The two other players were still engaging each other and I tried to knock off the guy with the bow, but I threw it too late and in the wrong spot, which I guess also didn't save the other guy. Then he started ruthlessly shooting me from the island, and after eating a golden apple that was supposed to heal me quickly, he started building up. If I still had some projectiles, I could have just knocked him down, but I didn't, and so I had to build up to meet him. But he shot me again. Please let there be snowballs.
Nope.
He threw me off the cliff. Round 30, I switched to the salmon kit, which gave me 3 water buckets and iron boots in case I didn't want the protection 3 and depth strider leather boots. But after looting the chests on the island, I started bridging but was killed the way I feared the most. Round 31, I was on the same map again apparently, and I grabbed only assorted blocks before bridging to the main island. Without a second thought, I looted a middle chest that had diamond boots and another fishing rod with knockback 2. But I wish it had better armor because I was obliterated by a guy that could click 60 CPS. At least that's what his name said. Round 32, I changed to the Ecologist kit, which I guess was just basically for getting blocks quickly to get to the middle island. But after I looted a chest, I threw a snowball at the player and knocked him off the cliff. That was my first solo kill while recording Skywars. Then I started bridging to the other island and made it there safely, but unfortunately the chests were all looted and I had no armor. So the round didn't last much longer. Blech! Wow, that really boosted my self-esteem. With how things have been going, I realized that trying to win a round was very unlikely, so instead of trying to win, I wanted to try to make it to the top 3 kills. That would be considerably easier since it seems that a lot of the killers on the leaderboards have had at least 1 kill. But now, moving on to round 33, the chests were full of snowballs and so I began bridging right away, hoping to knock another bridger into the void. And I just want to point out that while this isn't professional speed bridging, the 1 millisecond that I'm uncrouched gives me a faster time than staying crouched. I'm learning! But immediately after I got to another island, I tried to hit another player towering up, but even though I hit him, he was knocked to the main island, which really annoyed me. But I bridged to the main island shortly after. I tried to spam snowballs at another player, but that player placed blocks and another player hit me from behind. I ran while the 2 players were deciding who would kill me, and I tried to loot another chest. It had some decent items, but I took too long trying to configure my inventory and I was knocked to my death. Ugh, can't even get 1 kill. Later, while looking for Skywars guides on YouTube.
This video is going to be on solo mode because, let's be honest, neither of us have friends, and insane mode because, let's be honest, who the heck plays normal? Get out of here.
Insane mode it is. Round 34, I chose the Knight kit and started looting chests. I was going to start bridging, but a player was waiting to knock me off. I pretended to leave, but doubled back and almost knocked her off, but didn't. She was very angry and shot me. Round 35, I looted my island and then made it to the main island without much trouble, but I couldn't see where the other players were, but I was soon the only one left, and I didn't get any better gear than what I already got from my island. Even though I knew he was probably way more skilled at fighting than me, I keep kicking myself for not just using my sword. What was I gonna do, hook him? Round 36, I changed to the Pro kit. It's probably great if you're a pro since it has all you need to get to the middle island quickly, but I am not a pro, so I looted the chests anyways. Then I started bridging. Maybe not yet. I looted the other two chests and got almost full diamond armor. After the player left, I decided this was a good time to keep bridging, and I made it all the way to the middle island. Unfortunately, I was stabbed in the back and knocked off the cliff, and I had nearly full diamond! Round 37 was a map that didn't require bridging very far, but after I connected my island to a part of the center island, a guy with springs for feet came at me. But instead of killing me, he blocked off my bridge and very quickly gained to the high ground. I was expecting him to jump behind me and knock me off the edge, but instead he jumped onto the top of the island's cave. I think he was waiting for me to leave the cave so he could get me, but I just stayed put. But then I lost sight of his name tag and I had no idea where he was, until I heard a noise and my neighbor was thrown off his island by the same guy that had closed off my bridge.
What's that behind you?
What?
Well, you did!
Ah! I tried again at getting kits and got a kit that gives me a single ender pearl, only usable in insane mode. So at the start of round 38, I selected the Enderman kit and discovered that the ender pearl has a 30-second delay, which starts once the cage is open, and although it does solve the problem of getting knocked off as I try to bridge, it grants the still faster bridgers the chance to get all the loot in the middle of the map before me, but it's still significantly safer for me. Or not.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Okay, on the real round 38, I looted the island for armor and weapons and then ender pearl to the middle. Oh, but like I said before, the speed bridgers could still go faster than I could wait for 30 seconds, but I got one guy on the run and there was another guy that had low armor. Easy cut. What? Round 39, I looted for the usual items, but this time got snowballs and eggs, and when I went back up, some guy was trying to bridge. But he was fast and high enough that when I finally hit him with my snowballs, he just fell right back onto his island instead of the void, and he began shooting me. Rather than fighting him, I teleported to mid. Unfortunately, I ran into a juggernaut. Within 35 seconds of round 40 starting, a guy bridged super fast and didn't take any knockback, so I reported him because there's no way that's possible. Round 41 lasted approximately 18 seconds because somehow a guy bridged super fast. After seeing just how fast he could bridge, I reported him too. I know that sort of bridging is possible in the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, but there's no way they can bridge like that in Java Minecraft without hacks. But then after rejoining Hypixel later, the admins informed me that my recent reports were looked over and punishments were issued. Don't cheat, I'll report you. Round 42, after looting the island, I was threatened by another guy on another island, so I knocked him into his island cave and then threw my pearl. This time I actually got a decent chest at the right time, but only took the enchanted diamond boots. The island I teleported to was only a small chunk and I would need to bridge to get to the middle island. But then a guy that did make it to middle started shooting me, and in no time I was dead. Round 43, I got 2 stacks of snowballs from the island chest, which I then used to knock a player into the void. Soon after going back to the top of my island, I spotted another player that had just finished bridging to another island chunk. I kept bombarding him with snowballs, but he didn't get knocked into the void and started shooting me with the bow he got from a chest. So I tried teleporting to him so I could melee him, but I didn't have the right keybinds so I couldn't switch to my sword fast enough, so I tried to hit him off the island, but I forgot about sprint resetting and was unable to. So instead I fell off. Hey, I killed a guy, where's my place? Round 44, looted chest, hit player, missed island, slow bridge, tricky jumped, then died. Round 45, I looted and immediately pearled to the larger island and started trying to kill the nearest player. He tried to run around the building and supposedly knock me from behind, but I somehow managed to kill him first. I hardly got a break because almost immediately after, another player started trying to kill me, but somehow I managed to kill that player too. But when I tried to loot the items, more players came and I tried to knock one of them into the void, but unfortunately he had some serious knockback and killed me. But that didn't matter because killing 2 players got me to the top 3 killers, and that was my goal. Round 46, after looting my island, I tried to knock my neighbor into the void, but he dodged just in time and started shooting me. I should really remember to throw my pearl. Round 47, I looted my island and teleported to the larger island and started looting those chests, but right before I reached my third chest, I was attacked. I tried to knock him into the void, but he didn't take any knockback. He can't be cheating. I mean, look at him, Hack. Round 48, after looting my island, I tried to knock my neighbor into the void, but they were protected by the blocks they placed, so instead I just teleported to the center and obliterated a guy that didn't have any good armor. Unfortunately, another guy came behind me and got me in a combo lock and killed me. But my one kill earned me a place in the top 3 killers, so that was still a win. Round 49 was the most scuffed round out of all the other rounds, and you'll see why in a couple of seconds. It started when I grabbed the nearest snowballs and immediately knocked my neighbor into the void. After I finished looting my island, I pearled to the outer ring of the map. Since there wasn't really anyone on the outer ring and everyone was just falling off, I ran around while waiting for the chests to refill so I could hopefully get some more projectiles. And after they finally did refill, and I looted some of them, I spotted the final player, and once I got close enough, I tossed the poison potion and began clicking fast. But he had an enchanted fishing rod that knocked me off the island. With hardly any time, I threw a pearl. I landed on top of a tree and tried to take him off guard and knock him off the island, but he didn't take any damage, and shortly after I was back in the tree. This is called server lag and rubber banding, the most unfortunate part of playing any online game, and when I mentioned scuffed, this is kind of what I meant. After a minute of everything lagging and such, the game finally registered me as dead, but I'm going to count this round as a tie. If not for the lag, I would have won. Also, I get bonus points for an epic pearl clutch, but I had to wait a while for the server ping to go lower because 1000 ping almost guarantees laggy games.
2 days later.
Later, I finally did a round 50 and started off by shooting a guy that had the frog kit until he committed suicide, then teleported to the middle where someone had been killed so I was able to get a diamond sword. But the next person I met killed me from either my lag or him hacking, though after following him decided to report him. On the bright side though, I still managed to get to the top 3 killers, so even though I lost, I once again still won. Round 51, it seems that everyone could speed bridge, so I waited for everyone to kill each other and then teleported to the bigger island. But the final guy got stuck in blocks somehow and was suffocating, so I ended up winning just by not doing anything. Yes! Round 52 was when it really started getting interesting. It started off with me looting and then throwing eggs at my neighbor until he fell off the island, and then teleporting to a chest on another island and getting a protection 4 diamond chestplate, and then making a perfect jump to the main part of the island. Then I ended up killing another player with nearly full diamond armor. But with how many times I'd died after opening my inventory, I was too paranoid to try and put on the diamond helmet or use the anvil to increase the sharpness on my diamond sword. But despite these 2 mistakes, I found the final player who was above me. I started to shoot the player with my bow, but realized I was throwing snowballs instead, and so switched to my bow. I managed to hit him with an arrow, but the lag was making it difficult to shoot him properly, and I only managed to hit him twice, 2 separate times. Ooh, chest! Ow! But before I could even begin to think about healing myself, the player dropped down and we engaged. Despite being shot a lot, my opponent sustained a significant amount of fall damage. Unfortunately for me, my opponent was a true pro. Oh well, I still made it to the top 3, and that's what's important, I guess. Round 53, I was killed by someone's dad, but at least it wasn't somebody's mom. Round 54, I killed a player and then got killed. I didn't even bother waiting to see if I got to the top 3 with that single kill. Round 55 was probably the best round so far. After looting my island and then knocking a player into the void, I teleported to mid and went into a dark room where people were murdering each other. Without a second thought, I started killing everyone in the area for a grand total of 4 kills. I might have been able to heal myself and start looting, but since the room was dark, I couldn't see that there was another player nearby until he was already killing me. But you know what? This video is about PvP, and I think killing 3 people in a row is the best victory. Especially since I was able to be the #1 killer that round. After looking up Skywars strats one final time.
Would you please stop imitating me? It is starting to get very annoying.
Also, this isn't like strictly important, but it's a really nice thing to learn. Have your volume high enough to hear people's footsteps, because then if some nerd's sneaking up on you, you can hear him.
Well, I don't know how that could help me very much, but he was the expert, so I guess I'll give it a try. In fact, I'll just put it into overdrive. That should make it louder. Now let's see if that helps.